Welcome to part one of the final exam review. In this, we're just going to go over the exam structure and some studying tips. So the structure, as you'll see on Blackboard as well as in the exam instructions slides, is as follows. There's 35 multiple choice questions, and there are 2 bonus questions. Each of these are worth 1 point. So the whole section is 37 possible points out of 35 scored points, right? So you could earn 37 out of 35. There are 10 matching or fill in the blank questions. They're structured as fill in the blanks with a word bank. However, the way I have to load them on Blackboard, they will show up being called matching, and it's a bit more like that format where you match the words from the word bank with the sentence that has the blank. Right? These will be worth 2 points each, and there is one bonus question also worth 2 points. So this would be a possible 22 out of 20. Now, the multiple choice and the matching, or fill in the blank, right? These are all on material that we've covered since the midterm. Now, obviously, as you probably noticed, some of the material since the midterm has certainly been related to material we did before the midterm, but if it did not specifically come up in either readings or slides, discussions, that's the word I'm looking for, discussions since the midterm, it wouldn't be on this section of the exam, right? This is only post-midterm material. And you'll find a large word bank on the review sheet. All the words for the word bank for the matching fill in the blank questions will be drawn from that word bank. Right? And the words that aren't used from the word bank on the review sheet, those words may also obviously come up on other sections of the exam. So it's a really great thing to study from. There will be, in addition, 10 true-false questions. These are worth only 1 point apiece, and there are 2 bonus questions, so you could earn 12 out of 10. It's also going to be short answer questions. Should I answer 7 out of 10? These are short answers, so about 4 to 7 sentences apiece. You'll notice that Blackboard labels them as essays. Don't worry, you don't have to write an essay. You just have to write a short answer, which again, I consider a short answer about 4 to 7 sentences. Maybe for some you could write a little less. Maybe for some you feel like you want to write a little bit more. They should be complete sentences, right? These are short answers, but they don't have to be full essays. There will be opportunities for bonus points on this section. Just like on the midterm, you do have to answer the whole question to be eligible for the bonus question. And on these, right, so there'll be 3, I believe, with bonus questions. So if you answer those 3 questions and then an additional 4 questions, you could earn 38 points out of 35 for the section. So just a hint, I find the material on this PowerPoint important. And I say that here because the true, false, and short answers are going to be on material from the entire course. Anything you learned in this class was fair game. But if I find it important enough to put on this PowerPoint, it's probably material that I find important enough to put on the exam. So while there may be things that don't show up during this review session that do show up in the exam, odds are, if you're looking at a short answer question, it will have at least been touched upon in these review slides. Ditto with the true-false, right? Because again, anything that we've talked about in this class is fair game, but I know that's so much material that I do try to emphasize the important material here. And just one thing about all the sections, as you might have seen on the midterm, I do try to ask more conceptual questions rather than names, dates, places. So you don't have to memorize material, but you should be able to apply the concepts we've learned throughout the course. And I'll explain more what this means as we start looking at material. So, how should you study for this exam? Well, obviously the study guide that I've already posted on Blackboard reflects the material on the test. The one that I gave you for the midterm gives a good idea of the detail I'm looking for the short answers, right? Because the midterm one, I gave you some sample short answer questions and some sample short answer answers. So that gives you a good idea of what I'd be expecting, again, on the short answers, as well as the multiple choice. Obviously, the material on the midterm study guide was only stuff from before the midterm, whereas the material on this test for the multiple choice will only be post-midterm. But for the short answers, anything in the course is fair game. So that will be a great place to look if you're curious about what kind of detail I'm expecting. But the study guide for the final exam clearly tells you what material will be on this test, and it does give you a word bank for the fill in the blanks that is a great place to start studying for the other sections too. The quizzes, right? They're not perfectly representative of the types of questions I'm going to ask on the final, but they're a great way to check your retention of the material, and I do sometimes take questions directly from the quizzes and put them on the final. So definitely the quizzes are a great place to look. You can retake the quizzes without erasing your score. And just in case you were worried about it, because I know Blackboard tends to post like all sorts of warning messages reminding you that you've already submitted one, don't worry, I have all your quiz grades downloaded and on my computer, so I don't depend on Blackboard for them. Obviously, the lecture slides from the whole semester are important, and your notes. I acknowledge that you might have better notes pre-moving online than post-moving online, but I do hope that you're taking the time to look at the lecture slides and read my annotations on them, and also to look at the YouTube videos that I've been posting. These videos generally do illustrate concepts that we would have been talking about in class. Where I couldn't find a good video, I did post my own, but where there were good videos already in existence, I posted those. People have much better tech skills than I do, so, when there's lovely animated videos or potentially, I think I've posted a few with professors who've literally written the books on some of the concepts we've been talking about. Might as well use them and not reinvent the wheel. So those are great things to look at. Obviously, if I've gone and found a video on it, I probably think it's an important concept. And if there's a video already created, it's also probably an important concept. And if I've put in the effort to make you a video, rather than just post the annotated slides, I, again, probably think it's important. So those are great places to go and look and take notes. Generally, obviously, whether it's the lecture slides, the YouTube videos we posted, the YouTube videos I've made, things that I believe are important for you to know are the things I'm going to stress in lectures, etc. So if I've spent the time to stress them, they may well show up on the exam. Obviously, not everything is going to show up on the exam, but it is a good hint that it might show up somehow. The Krutz textbook, that's your online textbook, right? That has some useful comprehension questions. And obviously I made you read it because I think it has useful information. Also the scanned readings, right? I assigned them for a reason. So do take a look at if you haven't done the readings, or if maybe, obviously the readings just after the midterm, it's been a while since you've done them. So you may want to look at those. You may want to look at some of the really critical points from pre-midterm readings. You'll know what are critical points because we'll talk about them in the next review slides, right? So that's the last thing you should be studying. Obviously, I don't have that on the slides, but these slides, the videos I'm posting for them, are a great place to start your studying.